You've probably heard this before. Eggs are the perfect food. And honestly, in many ways, that's true. They're packed with protein, vitamin B12, D, choline, everything our bodies need to stay strong and sharp as we age. But here's the catch. Eggs are only healthy if we use them the right way. Let's take Frank as an example. He's 72. Every morning, he fries up 2 eggs in the same pan he's used for years, adds a little salt, a slice of toast, and enjoys his breakfast quietly. It's a comforting routine, simple and familiar. But lately, Frank has been feeling bloated after breakfast. He's more sluggish in the mornings. His cholesterol levels are rising, blood pressure too. His doctor tells him,
It's just age.
but deep down, we know that's not the whole story. Here's what science is telling us. Cooking eggs at very high heat creates something called oxidized cholesterol, and that can trigger inflammation throughout the body. Eating raw or undercooked eggs can expose us to salmonella, which becomes more dangerous as our immune systems naturally weaken with age. And the type of oil we use to cook eggs, if it's cheap and refined, like canola or soybean oil, it can break down when heated and release compounds that quietly chip away at our health. So even though eggs seem like a simple, healthy choice, how we prepare them matters more than we think, especially after 60. In this video, we're going to walk through the 5 most common mistakes that can turn eggs from a superfood into a hidden health risk. We'll talk about why each one matters, with just the right amount of science to understand it clearly. And most importantly, we'll share simple, practical tips you can start using today, right in your own kitchen. No pills, no fancy superfoods, just small, thoughtful changes, rooted in care and common sense. So go ahead and pour yourself a warm cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's crack this egg together. Because sometimes it's the smallest changes, like how we cook our breakfast, that lead to the biggest wins for our health. Mistake number 1, eating raw or undercooked eggs. Let's start with something that surprises a lot of people. Raw eggs aren't better for you. In fact, for many of us past 60, they can do more harm than good. Some folks believe that eating eggs raw, in a smoothie or sunny side up with a runny yolk, keeps all the nutrients intact. We get it. It sounds natural, even smart. But here's the thing, science says otherwise. Raw or undercooked eggs can carry salmonella, a bacteria that's dangerous at any age, but especially for seniors. As we get older, our immune system slows down. It's part of life. And what might be a mild stomachache for a 25-year-old could lead to dehydration, hospitalization, or worse for someone in their 60s or 70s. There's another hidden issue too. Raw egg whites contain a protein called avidin, which blocks biotin, a vitamin we need for healthy skin, hair, and energy. So if we're eating eggs raw every day, we may slowly develop a deficiency without realizing it. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 68, active, and big on health. Every morning, she blended a smoothie with 1 raw egg. She read somewhere that it helped with muscle tone. Then one day, she started having fever, cramps, and couldn't keep anything down. At the ER, they diagnosed her with salmonella poisoning. The source? Her healthy morning drink. What's important to know is, even clean, store-bought eggs, even organic or free-range, can still carry bacteria. It's not about how pretty the carton looks. It's about how the egg is handled and how it's cooked. So what can we do instead? The safest option is to cook eggs until both the yolk and white are firm. That doesn't mean they have to be dry or boring. Poached eggs, soft-boiled but cooked, scrambled gently on low heat, all are safe and delicious. And if you really enjoy soft yolks, look for pasteurized eggs. They've been gently heated to kill bacteria while keeping the texture you love. The goal here isn't to take away joy from your breakfast. It's to help you enjoy it fully, without risk. Because when we eat smart, we stay stronger and more independent for the long run. Now let's move to the next big mistake. And it happens right after cooking, how we store our eggs. Mistake number 2, storing cooked eggs the wrong way. Let's say you cooked your eggs just right, fully cooked, not runny, not overdone. That's already a great step. But here's a common mistake many of us still make, and it happens after the cooking is done. We leave the eggs out too long at room temperature. It sounds harmless, right? You finish your breakfast, take a phone call, get distracted. 2 or 3 hours go by, and the eggs are still sitting on the table. They look fine, they smell fine, But what we can't see is the real danger: bacteria quietly growing. Cooked eggs are moist and full of protein, a perfect environment for bacteria like Salmonella or E. coli to multiply. And they grow fastest when food is sitting in the danger zone, between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, about 40 to 38 degrees. Research shows that bacteria can double every 20 minutes in that range. Now, for younger people, eating that might just cause a little discomfort. But for those of us over 60, it can lead to serious illness, dehydration, weakness, or even a trip to the hospital. Let me give you an example. Joan is 73. She hard-boiled some eggs in the morning and left them on the counter while she did a few chores. Later that day, she used them in a salad for dinner. They seemed totally fine. But that night, nausea, stomach cramps, chills. Her doctor said it was likely food poisoning from bacteria that had grown while the eggs sat out. So what can we do to stay safe? Put cooked eggs in the refrigerator within 2 hours, or within 1 hour if it's a hot day. Store them in airtight containers to keep moisture and bacteria out. And don't keep them too long. Hard-boiled eggs with the shell on can stay fresh for up to 1 week. Scrambled, fried, or peeled eggs should be eaten within 3 to 4 days. Also, let's talk about cooking temperature. Because if we want to keep the nutrients in eggs, like vitamin B12 for energy and memory, or lutein for eye health, we need to avoid overheating them. The best range to cook eggs is around 160 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 71 to 82 degrees C. But don't worry if you don't have a thermometer. Here's an easy guide. For boiled eggs, cook them for about 6 to 7 minutes. This gives you a soft, creamy center, but still kills any bacteria. For scrambled eggs, use low to medium heat and stop cooking once they're just set, not runny, but still moist. For fried eggs, go with medium heat and take them off the pan before the edges get crispy or brown. If the yolk turns green or gray, or the eggs feel rubbery, that's a sign we've cooked them too long. They're still edible, but a lot of the nutrition is already gone. So if we're eating eggs to stay strong, energetic, and clear-minded, let's not undo all that by cooking them the wrong way. Just a little care, storing them safely, and cooking at the right temperature can turn a simple breakfast into a powerful act of self-care. Next up, even when we think we're cooking well, one mistake can quietly rob our eggs of their goodness. Let's talk about overcooking. Mistake number 3, overcooking eggs. Here's something that might surprise you. Eggs can be overcooked. And when that happens, we don't just lose taste, we also lose important nutrients. Even worse, too much heat can create harmful changes inside the egg. Many people think,
the longer I cook it, the safer it is.
But if we fry eggs until the edges turn brown, or boil them until the yolk turns green or gray, that's a sign the egg has been cooked too long. When eggs are cooked at very high heat, the fat and cholesterol inside can get damaged. This process is called oxidation, and it can lead to inflammation in the body. Inflammation makes many problems worse, like heart disease, joint pain, or memory loss, especially as we get older. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 76. Every morning, he fried his eggs until they were crispy at the edges. It was tasty, yes, but over time, he started feeling bloated, tired, and had more heartburn. Then a friend suggested he try cooking eggs more gently, so he switched to low-heat scrambled eggs with a little butter. After just 2 weeks, he felt better, lighter, more energetic, and clearer in the mornings. That's because eggs are full of nutrients that don't like too much heat. Things like vitamin B12 for energy and healthy nerves, folate for your heart and cell repair, lutein and zeaxanthin for healthy eyes and memory. These nutrients are heat sensitive, which means they break down when eggs are cooked too hot or too long. So how can we cook eggs the right way? Use low or medium heat instead of high heat. Boil eggs for 6 to 7 minutes to keep the yolk soft and the nutrients strong. Poach eggs in gently simmering water, not boiling water. Scramble eggs slowly and stop cooking when they are still moist. Fry eggs on medium heat and take them off before the edges get crispy or brown. If your eggs smell like sulfur or the yolk has a green ring, that means they've been overcooked. The good news? You don't have to change everything. Just turn the heat down a little. Cook slower with care. You'll enjoy better taste and keep more of the good stuff your body needs. In the next part, we'll talk about another common mistake: reheating eggs the wrong way. Let's make sure your leftovers stay safe and healthy too. Mistake number 4. Reheating eggs the wrong way. Let's be honest, none of us want to waste food. So when we have leftover eggs, it makes sense to save them for later. But here's the thing. The way we reheat eggs matters more than we think. A lot of people just toss them into the microwave. It's fast and easy. But what many don't realize is that microwaving eggs can do more harm than good. When we reheat eggs too fast or at very high heat, like in a microwave, a few things can happen. First, the eggs can become rubbery, dry, or even explode. That's not just unpleasant. It means the heat is too strong, and we may be destroying the nutrients we're trying to keep. Second, if the eggs weren't stored properly before reheating, the microwave might not get hot enough to kill all the bacteria. That's especially risky for older adults who are more sensitive to foodborne illness. Let me tell you about Evelyn. She's 74 and very careful about what she eats. One day, she reheated some leftover scrambled eggs in the microwave. They seemed fine, so she ate them. Later that night, she felt sick, cramps, nausea, and fatigue. Her doctor said the likely cause was bacteria that had survived the reheating process. So how can we reheat eggs safely without ruining the taste or nutrition? Here's what works best. Reheat eggs slowly on the stovetop, using a little bit of water, broth, or butter to keep them soft and moist. This gentle heat helps warm the eggs evenly without overcooking or burning away the good stuff. And before you reheat, make sure the eggs were refrigerated within 2 hours after cooking and stored in a sealed container in the coldest part of the fridge. If the eggs look dry, smell off, or have changed color, it's safer to let them go. It's not worth the risk. And here's a quick tip. If you're someone who likes to meal prep, try storing the egg yolk and white separately, or cook them just before eating. That way, you keep both flavor and safety intact. At the end of the day, we all want meals that are easy, tasty, and good for our bodies. With just a little extra care when reheating, we can make sure our eggs stay just as healthy the second time around. Up next, we'll talk about one of the most surprising mistakes of all, and it starts before you even crack the egg. How to tell if your eggs are fresh, safe, or secretly spoiled. Mistake number 5, using expired, cracked, or spoiled eggs. This is a mistake many of us make without realizing it, because eggs often look perfectly fine on the outside. Clean shell, no smell, no cracks. But the truth is, the problem can be hiding inside. Even if the expiration date hasn't passed, an egg can still be unsafe if it's cracked, poorly stored, or already starting to spoil. And for those of us over 60, eating a bad egg isn't just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. Our immune systems aren't as strong as they once were, which means food poisoning hits harder and lasts longer. Sometimes, it's just a tiny hairline crack or a faint smell when you open the egg, and we brush it off. But those little signs matter. Let me tell you about Evelyn, age 74. One morning, she cracked an egg into the pan like she always did, but noticed a slight sulfur smell. She thought, maybe it's just from the fridge, so she cooked and ate it anyway. A few hours later, she felt weak, nauseous, and had stomach cramps. Her doctor told her it was likely mild food poisoning from a spoiled egg that looked fine on the outside. Since then, Evelyn started doing something simple and smart that we can all do too. It's called the water test. Take a bowl of cold water and gently place the egg inside. If the egg sinks to the bottom and lays flat, it's fresh. If it stands upright, it's still safe, but use it soon, non. If it floats to the top, it's gone bad. Throw it out. Why does this work? As eggs age, air slowly seeps through the shell, forming a pocket inside. The more air inside, the more the egg floats. Besides that, always take a second to check your eggs before cooking. Do they have cracks? Do they smell strange when opened? Is the white watery or unusually thin? If anything makes you pause, trust that instinct. Throwing out one egg is no big loss, but eating a spoiled one? That could mean days of discomfort or even a hospital visit. Also, keep your eggs in the coldest part of the fridge, usually the middle or lower shelf near the back. Avoid storing them in the fridge door, where the temperature changes every time you open it. Choosing fresh, high-quality eggs isn't just a good habit, it's a smart act of self-care. It shows that we're listening to our bodies, making thoughtful choices, and respecting our health, even in the little things. One small egg, handled with care, can quietly support your energy, your balance, and your well-being. In the next part, we'll explore another common kitchen mistake, one that often goes unnoticed: which oils we use to cook our eggs and why it matters more than we think. Mistake number 6, cooking eggs in harmful oils. We all know that eggs are good for us, but here's something most people never think about. What we cook our eggs in is just as important as the eggs themselves. In other words, the oil you choose can either help your body or quietly hurt it, especially if you're over 60 and paying attention to things like heart health, memory, or digestion. Many of us still reach for the usual oils: generic vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, or margarine. They're cheap, easy to find, and we've been using them for years. But here's the truth. These oils are often highly processed, refined using heat and chemicals, and when they're heated again in your pan, they break down even further and release harmful compounds like free radicals and oxidized fats. For older adults, those compounds are no joke. They contribute to chronic inflammation, a quiet troublemaker behind high blood pressure, joint pain, memory loss, and even stroke. Let me tell you about Frank, who's 78. Every morning, he cooked his eggs in the same vegetable oil he bought on sale. He thought, oil is oil, it all works. But after attending a local health talk, he learned that the oil you cook with may be the reason you feel sluggish, bloated, or foggy afterward. So he decided to try something different. 1 week with unsalted butter, 1 week with extra virgin olive oil. The result? He digested better, felt lighter, and had more energy in the mornings. Even better, he said his eggs tasted richer and more satisfying than ever before. So what oils should we be using after 60? Butter or ghee, clarified butter, gentle on the gut, rich in vitamin A. Coconut oil, full of healthy fats that support digestion and energy. Extra virgin olive oil, packed with antioxidants that protect your heart and brain. Avocado oil, neutral flavor, high smoke point, great for gentle frying. One simple tip: if your oil is starting to smoke in the pan, it means it's too hot. Even healthy oils break down under high heat. That's when they start turning into something harmful. So whenever possible, cook eggs on medium heat and don't let the oil overheat. When we choose the right oil, we're not just making a better meal, we're protecting our heart, our brain, and our energy, one egg at a time. In the next part, we'll bring everything together. Let's talk about why these small daily choices, things that seem too simple to matter, are actually the most powerful steps toward a stronger, longer life. To say why the little things matter. Let's take a step back for a moment. Over the past few minutes, we've talked about eggs. Something so ordinary, so familiar, it's easy to overlook. But as we've seen, how we handle something as simple as an egg can quietly shape our health in powerful ways. Whether it's cooking too hot, reheating too fast, leaving leftovers out too long, or using the wrong kind of oil, these may sound like small things. But when you're over 60, small things add up. And the truth is, most health issues don't arrive in one big moment. They build, day by day, meal by meal, habit by habit. But here's the good news. So does healing. So does strength. So does energy. And it doesn't take pills or prescriptions. It starts with the small acts of care, like choosing fresh ingredients, using the right oil, cooking with lower heat. But here's something just as important, and we don't talk about it enough. It's not just what you eat, but how you eat. When we sit down to a meal, rushed, distracted, stressed, our body doesn't absorb nutrients the same way. Digestion slows, inflammation rises, and food, no matter how good, doesn't nourish us fully. But when we eat with presence, with gratitude, calm, and even joy, the body opens up. The meal becomes medicine. You may have heard of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who wrote The Hidden Messages in Water. In his research, he showed that water molecules actually change shape when exposed to words like love or gratitude. Water became more structured, more beautiful, like tiny crystals. Now think about this. Our bodies are over 60% water, so the energy we bring to our food and to ourselves matters deeply. So yes, choosing the right oil matters. Yes, checking your eggs for freshness matters. But so does the energy you carry when you cook and when you eat. Each meal is a moment to reconnect with yourself, to slow down.
I care about this body. I care about this life.
That is how healing begins, quietly, consistently, lovingly. You've made it this far in the video, and that says a lot. It means you care. about your health, your future, and the way you live each day. And I want you to remember this. You still have the power to shape your health one small choice at a time. Even something as simple as the way you cook breakfast can be a quiet act of self-respect. So tomorrow morning, when you reach for the pan, maybe you lower the heat just a little, swap out that old oil, or check your egg in water before you crack it. And just as importantly, maybe you smile while cooking, say a kind word to yourself, send love into that pan. Because when food is prepared with calm and eaten with care, it doesn't just feed the body, it heals the soul. So here we are, at the end of something simple and maybe the beginning of something meaningful. We started this video with a question: can something as small as an egg really affect your health? And now we know the answer. It's not just the egg itself, it's how you cook it, how you store it, what oil you use, and the energy you bring into your kitchen. Health doesn't always come from big changes. Often it begins with small, quiet habits. A gentler flame under the pan, not a quick glance before you crack the shell, a moment of calm before you eat. We believe that real strength at this stage of life isn't about doing more, faster, but doing less, better, with care. If you've made it all the way through this video, it tells us something beautiful about you. You're still curious, still open, still willing to care for yourself. And that, in itself, is powerful. It means you haven't given up on your health, your joy, your energy. You're choosing to show up, and we honor that. So we'd love to know, type 1 if you've ever made one of these egg mistakes and learned something new. Type 2 if you're planning to change one small thing in your kitchen tomorrow. Type 3 if this video helped you slow down and feel a little more at peace. Or just say hello. We read every comment, and we're so glad you're here. If this video helped you, please give it a like so others can discover it too. And if you'd like to stay on this journey with us, feel free to subscribe. There's so much more to explore together. Until next time, eat with care, live with love, and remember, it's the smallest things that can lead to the biggest shifts.